Well, hello, friends. I hope you're having a great day today. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Take 5. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. Hey, we're halfway to the weekend. Just hold on, friend. You can make it. I promise you can. Hey, we're in a series this week that we've called Winning Over Worry. Now, you know I didn't preach on Sunday, but I just felt compelled to share this with you. Because worry is one of those things, anxiety and stress, it's one of those things that we deal with all the time. You know, whenever we face out of control situations, we tend to go to one of two extremes, either one or the other. If this is the road, we reckon the ditch on one side or the other. That's what we do. For some of us, the more out of control your life gets, the harder you try to control it, and you do that by worrying. Then there are others who do the exact opposite, and when things get out of control, they just want to throw in the towel and quit. And both of these are wrong. You cannot do that. That don't work. If you try to play like you're the victim, that doesn't work. And then if you try to be a hyper controller, that doesn't work. Somewhere we got to get out of the ditch, balance this thing, get back in the road, and learn to cast our cares on the Lord and trust Him and not give in to the heartache and the pain and the frustration of worry and anxiety. 1 Peter chapter 5, we read it yesterday or Monday, I'm not sure when it was, but we're going to read it again. He said, "Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time He may exalt you, casting all your anxiety." All, A-L-L, all. Let me give you a deep definition. The word all means all. In Greek, in Hebrew, in Latin, and everything, it means all. Every bit of it, cast it all on Him because He cares for you. Now notice how He said to deal with it. He said, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. Basically, He's saying we've got to lower ourselves. We've got to get off of the throne and stop trying to be God and handle some of these things and let God be God and let Him have it and throw our care on Him because we are His concern. He loves us that much. The number one reason that you find yourself feeling the stress of worry is because you're really in conflict with God. You're trying to control the things that only God can control. And that's a battle you'll never win, and you'll drive yourself crazy. You've done it. I have too. We drive ourselves crazy trying to control things that only God can control. Matthew chapter 6 is a beautiful picture there. About verse 25 through verse 34 at the end of the chapter is a beautiful picture of Jesus teaching the disciples about this idea of worry and what to do with it. It's really the same lesson that Peter was teaching there, and it would do us good to learn to live by the instructions Jesus was giving and that Peter has given instead of doing all this worrying that we do all the time. So let's look at verse 25 of Matthew 6. Jesus is speaking. He said, "I tell you, do not worry about your life." Now listen to me. I know we're not gathered together and we're not in church and we don't do a lot of this repeat stuff, but it might help you if you just stop right now, breathe real deeply, think about your situation, and just say what Jesus said right there and say, "Do not worry." You might even need to call your name. You might need to say, "Hey, Russ, do not worry," or whatever. I know your name's not Russ, but you know what I'm saying. Do not worry about life. Now watch what He said. About the things that you eat or drink, about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Now, several different translations use different phrases other than "do not worry." One says, "take no thought." In other words, don't let your thoughts be consumed by these necessities of life that God has promised He will take care of. Another translation says, "do not be anxious." And then the NIV, where we just read it there, it says, "do not worry." This simply means that as believers, we should not be so disturbed about the necessities of life that we distrust God and are distracted from faithfully doing His will. Remember Martha, how distracted she got about the things that she was anxious and troubled over? We cannot do that. And when we get distracted, what caused it was distrust. we began to not trust God with the things that we needed in our life. And we began to worry and we began to stress over the necessities of life that God said He would take care of. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right up front. You can't just sit around and not do anything and expect God to just meet your needs. He does have some things that He requires us to do. He requires us to be obedient to His word. And if you are doing that, you do not have to worry about the necessities of life. God will show up and show out for you. It may be late according to your clock and mine, but with God, it's always right on time, and He never forgets His people. So cast your care on Him. The things that He has promised He would do, cast it on Him. He cares for you, and let Him take care of you. The last part of that verse said, isn't life more than food and the body more than clothes? And that simply indicates that the inner mental stability of man must come from our spirit and faith and not from outward physical provisions or the lack of them. I'm not stable and at peace. I don't have serenity in my life because of things that I have or don't have. I have serenity and I'm stable and I'm at peace in my life because I have learned to trust the Lord with these things, and I know He will not fail me. So there is no need in me worrying. To set your heart on material possessions or to worry about the lack of them is to live in perpetual insecurity and to deprive yourself of the spiritual blessings of God, because things in this life will let you down. Things come and go. Jobs come and go. The economy rises and it falls, but God is the same. He is stable. He will be there through thick and thin. Remember how Jesus told Martha that she worried about everything but the right thing. And that's exactly what anxiety and worry wants us to do, to worry about everything but the right thing. One thing I'm going to leave you with today, and that's this. Worry is unreasonable. It does not make sense to worry about the things that are as insignificant as food and clothing. I say they're insignificant because God has promised that He would provide for us. So, what do you say? Let's learn to be content with what God has given us. Let's stop worrying ourselves over what we have or don't have or think we should have, and put our trust in God, and let's let this thing called worry go. Just release it out of your life. Go back to verse 25 of Matthew 6 and say it all over again if you have to. Jesus said, do not worry about your life. Well, hey, I've got to get out of here. It's been good being with you today. I look forward to being with you tomorrow on Thursday's edition of Take 5. Till then, God bless you. Have a great day. Hey, trust the Lord, friend. He will never fail you.